Hey, thanks so much for finding the video. Do us a favor. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Be sure to leave your comment. We love to interact. Enjoy the video. Start on the offensive side of the ball. Why do they stink?
Well, I'm not a big fan of the interior offensive line, which you like to note every week when a certain $11 million paid player has a folly, and you like to see what I have to say about it every time it happens. His name is Andrus Peat.
Yep.
And we've had issues with him, not just this year, but in previous years, and we've talked about how this contract doesn't live up to expectation. And when Sean Payton calls you out unprompted, you got a problem. I mean, we've seen him do this to Marcus Williams. We've seen him do this to other players. Look, it is something that when you see, say, a strength, like the Eagles' defensive line, that was a strength. And you see other defensive lines that are going to be good, maybe coming up in the playoffs, and you see the interior of the offensive line struggle, specifically at the guard spots, not center, maybe not so much a tackle, but the guard spots. It brings you back to Minnesota last year, the playoff game. That got you beat. And I can tell you, Saints fans are wondering, wow, this could happen again, and maybe the Saints, even though they're a good team, they can get beat.
Assess Taysom Hill.
When you're not playing the 31st ranked pass defense, you're running some problems. And I think that's part of what he saw. He did not improve his pass play until you saw Darius Slay go out, Rodney McLeod go out, Avonte Maddox go out. Then he was able to start throwing the football a little bit better. Then you saw some injuries with the Eagles along their defensive front. If those guys were all healthy, I'm not sure this game would have been that close. So it was actually pretty fortunate. I don't like that he was basically lackadaisical in his tempo when you got to score and get going. Drew Brees absolutely brings that different element to the offense when he gets back.
Do you have a so that it's interesting that you brought up that drive that ended in the fumble. Do you just trust Sean Payton though, that he knew what the clock was and what the tempo needed to be in that drive?
I don't think Sean Payton liked it.
Okay.
And so no, I don't think that was hey, Sean Payton says, let's go methodically. No,
Okay.
I don't think he liked tempo. And I think that's why you hear him. He says he played all right, but you could see Sean Payton chirping at Taysom Hill because it's not the same tempo that he's accustomed to. There needed to be more urgency. And because I think he understood, and the team understood it, but he definitely understood at that time that you lose this game and you fall behind the eight ball. And now they're not the number one seed, but there needs to be better tempo, better urgency. And so, look, I think he certainly understood that, and that is probably not what he wanted Taysom Hill to do.
Give me some perspective on the loss. I mean, obviously we know that they could have clinched the division. They lost control of their own destiny. But if you had to wrap it up into a bow, how does it look?
I think it gives me concern for not just this coming week, but later. Look, the guard spots, I just mentioned it, offensive line-wise. Look, Nick Easton started, and he struggled against Atlanta. He missed the block on a 4th and short. Taysom Hill gets stopped. Then he's out with a concussion, and then Cesar Ruiz has to play. And obviously you don't have full confidence in him, otherwise he'd be starting. Then defensive front-wise, you're wondering what the heck happened with those guys. It's not like they weren't coached to know that Jalen Hurts was going to try to work the edges, this, that, and the other. And so where was that? It's like they had no discipline. And you saw not great games from Demario Davis and not a great game from Quan Alexander. And now you're going up against a team that can do it to you worse. And so if you lose 2 games in a row, we're not talking just you're going to lose the number 1 seed. You might fall behind the Rams, or the Seahawks. So seeding becomes an issue in the sense that you probably might fall into playing the better teams, if you keep losing. And so I think that's a bigger picture. Let's see if they can rebound against the Chiefs, and that is the tallest of tasks here.
Larry Holder on Twitter at Larry Holder, theathletic.com/New Orleans. Let's spend a couple of minutes on this upcoming game. I mean, was this defensive performance for the Saints a one-off, or do we see the best defense in the NFL limit the best offense in the NFL this weekend?
I'm not sure if anyone can hang with Tyreek Hill, so I'm curious to see how they counteract that, because usually you see someone like Marshall Lattimore shadow him. But what do? You probably want to put two on him, right? As far as a corner and a safety. That leaves Travis Kelce. That leaves a bunch of other weapons, and that's why the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. So we all knew that this was going to be a problem matchup. But the fact that they let people run free in the first half, it reminded me of earlier in the season when people were just running free, and Kansas City thrives on that. So can you stop that? I don't know. They cannot afford to get into a track meet, especially if Taysom Hill, which I assume is going to be the quarterback, they cannot allow themselves to get into a track meet. The defense has to play well, has to shut down Kansas City in spots. And it's not like Kansas City's infallible, but look, Kansas City is still Kansas City. They're the Super Bowl champs. They have the biggest weapons in football, and if they don't stop them, this could get ugly.
Do you have an update on Drew Brees?
Not much more than what we've all heard. I mean, there's been a lot of chatter. Look, even from Sean Payton and podcasts, this, that, and the other, even Drew Brees himself. I don't think they know. Today would be the typical day you'd like to know, because they're game planning and they want to decide who they're going to be game planning for. But it's not like they can't change on the fly if Drew Brees is ready to go. But I just think that Drew Brees might not be ready to go, and that's a concern, because I think we see now, not just points-wise, because it's not like the Saints are scoring a ton of points with Taysom Hill as quarterback. Tempo, the functioning of the offense, I think you see now more than we had even with Teddy Bridgewater when he was quarterback, as far as backup quarterbacks, that they miss Drew Brees.
One of the things, and Larry, last thing, I mean, candidly, I loved Philly in the points this week. I actually broke one of my own cardinal rules, and I played a Saints game, which I never do because I don't trust myself emotionally. But I loved Philly in the points because I think we've overemphasized the Saints offense. They haven't scored a bunch against bad defenses. 21, 24 against Atlanta. It's just, you throw out the Denver game altogether. I wasn't surprised. Do you think the Saints with Taysom Hill can score, if you're breaking down that matchup, can score against the Chiefs? If they get into a game like last year with the Saints and the Niners, that was just, matching score for score, can the Saints offense play that game against this Chiefs defense?
Well, no. But I do think the Chiefs defense isn't vaunted like maybe the Eagles defense. And vaunted is a strong word. I'm just saying the Eagles defensive line, I don't think Saints fans understood it. It was on par, if not better, than the Saints defensive front. So I think people needed to understand that. And I don't think as many people did, and you saw what happened. But you can't play catch-up with the Chiefs. There's no way. Drew Brees might be able to do it. Might be able to do it.
Yeah. I
don't know if Taysom Hill could do it. And so you need the defense to play stops. I'm with you. I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game, Saints-Eagles, and it ended up kind of being that way in terms of NFL-wise. But still, look, I think your suspicions are right. What was right with the Eagles game, obviously you won money. And are right in saying that with the way that the Saints offense, if Taysom Hill's a quarterback, they're not equipped to be high-flying and play catch-up. They're just not.
You can read all about it. theathletic.com/New Orleans. He's on Twitter at Larry Holder, and he's with us each Tuesday during the football season. Hopefully next Tuesday's more pleasant. We'll talk then. Thanks, man.
You got it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.